told you, Donna, way back in May that you was listed in the Epstein files and you swept it underneath the rug, hollering about no in July when you was asked the question, July 15th to be exact, you was asked the question, were you listed in the Epstein files? You said no. That's something that was made up by the Obama administration or the Biden administration.
With the current update to the Epstein files, I'm curious to know, do you think they will finally be released? Are we going to finally see the names on the file? Or are we still going to be on this emotional roller coaster of being sidetracked by different types of news? Tell me what you think in the comments below.
So I just heard that 3 Republicans joined 5 Democrats in a subcommittee in the House Oversight Committee, I believe, to subpoena the Epstein files from the Department of Justice. Which is strange because in the last 12 hours, I've seen clips of Mike Johnson, who we know what they're doing with Congress and what he's doing with Congress, right? Not coming back till, for a while now, September or some shit. Mike Johnson has told the American people that he talks with Donald Trump every day, many times a day. He knows what he's doing all the time. They're very close, right? So we're finding out that Pam Bondi had told Donald Trump he was in the documents back in May. And then we know that they went through the documents and took out his name where it was mentioned, right? We know that's been happening. All this is being revealed. So let me get this straight. Mike Johnson talks with Donald Trump every day, all the time. Did you not know that he was in the files back in May too, Mike? Is that something you weren't aware of? Is that why you are putting Congress on a recess? Because you don't want this to be made a mockery of. I mean, we're not trying to hide anything, but I'm trying to hide that I didn't know this back in May either. Because I have many secrets with Donald Trump, don't you? Many secrets, like the one leading up to the contest. You and Trump's little secret. Like this one. I wonder how many secrets you have with that man.
Pam told you, Donna, way back in May that you was listed in the Epstein files and you swept it underneath the rug, hollering about no in July when you was asked the question, July 15th to be exact, you was asked the question, were you listed in the Epstein files? You said no. That's something that was made up by the Obama administration or the Biden administration. Come on, sip a little tea with Auntie. Let's talk about it. So he told a bold-faced lie on July 15th because he knew already since May that he was listed in them Epstein files. He's still thinking to the day they're going to keep it covered. They ain't going to let it come out. But they've already put in a subpoena to the Department of Justice, y'all. A subpoena. 5 Democrats voted. 3 Republicans, 3 MAGA supporters that went against Donald Trump, y'all, and came on over with the Democrats to have those Epstein files released. Y'all, they just subpoenaed the department. They done put a subpoena. And he's still up there trying to act like he didn't have no main relationship with Epstein. But keep in mind, y'all, this man attended this man's wedding. They partied together all the time. You invite just anybody to your wedding? Hell, he been mad about 3-4 times. Hell, y'all pick one on, but you just let anybody come to your wedding. You ain't got no relationship with them. Pictures steadily surfacing of you and this man, and you trying to downplay y'all relationship. I know you might be in a little trouble here soon. I'm going to keep clocking the tea, y'all. Y'all just keep on watching. It's getting good. Thank y'all for sipping a little more tea with Auntie. Bye, y'all.
I'm on a plane, so pardon the background sound, and pardon me for being this close. I just got to talk about the Epstein affair briefly. Being a news nerd, I know the whole lineup of major Republican people, from Donald Jezebel Trump on down, one after another called for the release of the Epstein files. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly over months, implying that the Democrats have something to hide. Release the Epstein files. They all said it over and over. And now the Trump team is in power, fully in control of the Department of Justice. And there's no release of the Epstein files. Is that kind of suspicious? Does that make you sit up and say, what's going on here, boys and girls? What is going on? It's not because you have something to hide, is it? And don't for a moment think you can release a part of the file and say there's nothing over there in the other part we didn't release. That will not work, my friends. Definitely, that will not work.
I want to share my thoughts on the Epstein files since I am a Democratic candidate for Montana's 2nd Congressional District. First off, let me say, as if I was in Congress, I would fully support the release of the Epstein files. I mean, I'm all for transparency and justice always, with the kind of work I do legally, 100%. And I've seen all kinds of sick and twisted stuff in my day. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's client lists. I wouldn't be shocked if powerful men were involved in these things. I wouldn't be shocked. And I'm all for getting the truth out there. I mean, I'm fine. So that's my personal position. Second, I think that, people wonder why Democrats have low approval ratings. And I think like the way they handle Epstein is a great example of that, right? I mean, if you look at Democrats right now, they're getting up there and saying, oh my gosh, we got to have transparency and justice and truth. But, as some critics have pointed out, like, well, why is this the first time we're ever hearing you guys mention this? I mean, Democrats controlled the House and the Senate and the presidency, and not one single Democrat ever even mentioned getting the Epstein files off. So, like, regular people just look at that and think, man, come on, guys, like, get real. But Democrats are like in this weird self-created bubble where they just, it's just so weird. And so I think this is an example of why Democrats are viewed as so annoying and not credible, Democrats should just be honest, okay? They should just say, yeah, we're just doing this to cause trouble for Trump, but yeah, let's get it released. I mean, just be honest, because that's what you're really doing. Because if you cared about the victims and you cared about transparency, at least one Democrat would have done something on this a long time ago. And interestingly, the fact that Democrats didn't do anything about this is exactly why there were such conspiracies around it, right? Because people thought, oh, they're protecting Democrats. This gets to my third point, which is very interesting, I think. So, there are a lot of people in MAGA that really want to see the Epstein files released. And again, I support it. I think it's fine. An example is this guy right here. So this is Stuart Rhodes. He was an oath keeper. He was convicted in the January 6th stuff, and I think he got like an 18-year sentence, and Trump pardoned him. And Rhodes is talking about the fact that he wants to see the files released, and he even says, I think it's disheartening to see President Trump just declare it to be a hoax. And he says, I don't think it is, and it's going to cause him trouble if he doesn't, release it. And he goes on to say that he thinks this is the deep state dirty laundry. But it's interesting because Rhodes, and there's a lot of people like him, don't seem to consider the possibility that maybe the reason why Trump doesn't want these files to come out, and maybe the reason why he's telling people to move on, is because he is in them. I mean, I think that, like, it's very interesting that a lot of people that support the release of the files and also support Trump aren't thinking about the fact that maybe the release of the Epstein files is going to cause so much damage to Trump. I mean, there's so many pictures of Trump and Epstein, and there's not pictures of Epstein with a lot of other guys like there is with Donald Trump. There's also some strange comments that Donald Trump has made. There are a lot of things that suggest that there's a real connection between Trump and Epstein. So I find it so interesting that Trump supporters want to see the release of these documents, because I think that it could end up implicating Trump. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I just think that is so interesting how these folks are not really looking at that. But, we'll see what happens at the end of the day.
More Epstein drama. So, who's the guy? So, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has wrapped up his second day of meetings with Ghislaine Maxwell. And she's apparently requesting a pardon from President Trump. See how that plays out. She's naming names, right? In Congress, Democrats have repeatedly blocked Republican attempts to release all the Epstein files while publicly calling for them to be released because Trump's in them. And Trump has announced plans to release the Epstein list that doesn't exist, right? Figure that out. That implicates top Democrats and corporate leaders because he's tired of the Dems trying to imply that somehow he's done something bad. He's never been to Epstein Island, right? And this is a fact that everybody knows because the information that has come out showed that, Trump was on a plane a couple of times with Epstein, but it wasn't to the island. So here's my take. I really think, Trump is a master at manipulating people, manipulating the press. He's gotten the Democrats who never cared about the Epstein stuff, ever. During Biden, nothing, right? Now they've been baited into thinking that he's holding it back because it implicates him. And so you have all these Democrats on TV calling for the release of the Epstein list and accusing Trump of all kinds of crazy stuff that there's zero evidence for. And now Trump is looking like he's going to play his card and release the list. So, yeah. It really looks like that he's playing the media once again. He's trolling them, getting them to do exactly what he wants them to do, and he's going to turn around and just blow everybody out of the water by releasing the list and destroying careers. Could be wrong. We'll see. But it sure is funny that he says, oh, it's all a hoax, it's all a scam, and the corporate media goes ape shit. The Democrats who never cared about any of it go ape shit. And now he's saying, I'm going to release the list. Now he's got one of his DOJ folks interviewing Maxwell, and they're floating, giving her a pardon for naming names. It doesn't get any better than this, y'all. We'll see what happens. I want it released. I've been, bitching about this from go. But, I'm not the president. I don't know what he knows. I haven't seen what he saw. So we'll see how it plays out. But I got a strange feeling that this is not going to go the way the Democrats hope it will go.